Hello, Ms. Bell's class. I'm taking a look at this analyzing plots, graphs, and tables using measures of central tendency, and I'm going to explain it. I'm not going to actually do a lot of it. I'm going to just kind of tell you what to do. So here we go. Let's get after it. Number one, how many students' data is presented in the dot plot? Well, there's 14. You just add up all those dots, and there's 14 dots. What do the three dots above the number 11 mean in terms of the situation? So the three dots above the number 11, that means that there were 3 students that spent 11 hours, however you want to word that. 3 students that spent 11 hours on their end of year project. Is 0 a number in the data set? Well, 0 is a number, but it's not part of the data set, so no. Here's my data set right here, and I copied all of them down. I actually did this one for you to get you started. You would add up all of these. I forgot a 12. That's why I crossed this off, and that's why I squeezed a 12 in there. I end up with 112. I divide by 14, I get 8. So the mean, or the average, is 8. The median is 9. And the mode is 11. So what is the range of the data? The range is between 12 and 2, so 12 minus 2 is 10. Which measure of central tendency is best used to describe the data, the mean, the median, or the mode? Well, if you take a look at this, what they mean by that is like what one best is kind of like, you know, in the middle, more or less in the middle. There's no outlier that's throwing anything off. So if we look at the median, it's here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 above, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and below. I mean, that's the definition of a median. So there we go. And then we have the mean is 8, and those are the actual scores. So, you know, you would explain that, you know, the best way. I would say 8, because there's actual people who had 8, and, you know, there's, even though that there's more that are, you know, there's some more that are above. I mean, you could say 9 and say, because it's right in the middle, and there are no real outliers. But I would say like maybe these two, you know, are further from the rest, and maybe those outliers. So maybe 9 would be better. You know, you could come up with your explanation, in other words. So you might have a different explanation there. Moving on to this page. How many students' data is presented in the dot plot? Just count the X's, count those X's, and you could pause this and jot that down. There are no dots above 0, 1, and 3, between 3 and 11. So 0, 1, and between 3 and 11. No dots up there. What does this mean in terms of the situation? That means nobody, nobody scored those points on the math quiz. And so find the measures of central tendency. So for the mean, you would take all of those numbers, add them up, and then divide by 21, because I counted there's 21, so that gives you the answer for number 1. So add them all up, divide by 21, that will give you the mean. The median is going to be the middle number, so 21, so after 10, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'm going to have 10 after, so 17 is going to be the median, and 17 is going to be the mode. The range of the data is going to be 20 minus 2, because the highest minus the lowest. And what is the outlier in the data? The one that is away from all the others, it's going to be that one right there. We have generally this group here. The one that's away and looks out of place is the 2. So how does an outlier affect the range of a set of data? It makes the range much greater. Makes the range much greater, because if that 2 wasn't there, we'd have 20 minus 13, which would be 7.
Hannah Elrod, please report to the main office.
Number 7, which
Justin Hannah, please report to the main office.
measures of central tendency is
Jack
best
Koloff,
used
please report to the
to
main
describe
office.
this data? The mean, median, or mode? So once again,
Barry
you come up with
Streets,
your
please report to the main
idea. I would go
office.
with the median, because
Lorelei Hall, please
that
report to the main office.
that outlier is going to throw off the mean. So I throw it way off. So I would go with the median on that one. And that would be your explanation. True or false, someone made a 0 on the quiz. That would be false. Nobody made a 0 on the quiz. Okay, so the bar graph one. How many students' data is presented in this histogram? You have 1, 2, 4, 3, 6, and 2. So add up those all together, and that will tell you how many students were actually presented in that data. What is the range of the data? The highest minus the lowest, so 90 minus 40. That would be your answer there. Find the measure of central tendency of the test scores and round to the nearest tenth. I have them all listed here for you. And so you are going to add those all up and then divide by how many numbers you added up, which would have been, let me see, this was 10, 15, 18. So divide by 18, looks like, okay? So being 18, let's see, it would be 9, 1 for the median, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I should have 9 after, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so it's between 70 and 70, so the median is going to be 70. Notice 80 is going to be your mode. Is there an outlier in the data? I wouldn't say so. I mean, there's not anything that's way off, so I would say no. And the measure of central tendency. Measure of central tendency best used to describe this data. You could go either way, mean or median. There really isn't an outlier that throws out the mean, so maybe go with the mean because that's the average. True or false, someone scored 100 on the test. False, nobody scored 100 on the test. This one. How many students' data is present in this histogram? So we have 2, 3, 1, 2, and 1. So 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. So that would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you're gonna have 9. What's the range of the data? Between 100 and 10. So 100 minus 10 is going to be your answer there. So 90. Find the measures of central tendency of the numbers of songs on an iPod, round to the nearest tenth. So you're going to add up all of these, and then you're going to, whatever that answer is, when you add them all up, divide by 9 to get the mean. The median is going to be the middle number, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That 20 is in the middle, so the median is 20. The mode is the most repeated. That's going to be the 20. It's easy to see on a histogram. Is there an outlier on the data? Yes, definitely. That's going to be that 100. Okay. Which measure of central tendency is best used to describe this data? Mean, median, or mode? So I would say I would go with the median because that 100 is going to throw off the average or the mean. So I would go with median on that one. And then explain why. That's the explanation. Having an outlier in the data always increases the range. Yes, definitely. I would say true for number 7. It does, and we talked about that earlier, how it affects, how the outliers affect the range. Okay, and I believe this is the last one. Okay, we have tallies and the frequency. So we have a frequency table. How many dresses were chosen in total? What you're going to do is you're going to add 1, because we have 1, 8, 11, 9, and 9. So you're going to get a cumulative frequency. So 1 plus 8 plus 11 plus 9 plus 9. Whatever that is. What is the range of dress sizes? That's going to be 16 minus 2. Okay, here we go. Find the measures of central tendency of dress sizes, round to the nearest tenth. I made the list, and you could pause that and copy that down. I wrote 11 12s there. I wrote 9 14s and 9 16s. So that was rough. You got to add all those up and then divide by however many there are. So what do you have? 9, 10. So 10, and this was 20. So 30, 38. So whatever that is, divide by 38. So that's the answer. Should have been 38, I think. Okay. The mode is the one with the most. That's going to be easy. That's 12. Is there an outlier? I'd say yeah. I'd say that dress size 2. Which measure of central tendency is best used to describe the data? The mean, median, or mode? Probably the median, because once again, the mean is going to be thrown off by the outlier. And Jeremy says the mode is 9 because it appears twice in the frequency column. Describe and correct his mistake. That means that it just was shown up 9 times. 14 and 16 dress sizes shown up. They both showed up 9 times. That doesn't mean that the size 9 showed up the most. No, the one that had the highest frequency is 11, and that's dress size 12. So however you want to word that for your number 7. All right, so hopefully this was a helpful video for you on this assignment, and good luck with it.